Alright, so right now we're gonna just primer the frame, so then tomorrow we could probably paint it. So I just bought that epoxy primer stuff from like O'Reilly's, and then I wire brushed the whole frame, degreased it and all that, and then pressure washed it also, so it's ready. So I kind of forgot to record, but I just primed up the whole frame. It's just the epoxy primer stuff. So right now I'm going to not just, I mean it's already been like 4 hours, but I'm gonna just paint it now, and then the frame stuff should be done. Okay guys, so I got the frame all painted and ready to go. I didn't bother doing the control arms because I'm gonna take them off and I'm gonna put on new bushings and bot joints. So I was like, when I do that, I'll clean them up and paint those. So yeah, now I bought the new copper brake line. Let me show you. Just since, cause this is the truck that I shortened the frame on to make it a short bed or whatever. And so I bought this copper stuff because the rear uses this, I think it's like 1/4 inch, and then for the front it uses the 3/16. So I just bought this so I could just run on you like brake lines. Well, the one that goes from the front to the rear, and then I'm gonna do the short sections to the sides, mainly because I had to relocate this piece here, which is kind of what, like, I don't know, I guess you could call it like the brake distribution or something. But it used to go like right here on the cross member that came across here, but with the engine, you know, it's the inline 6, so it was hitting on it. So I built this one up front where it's out of the way, and I built that for it there to mount it there. So I had to pretty much the rear line, you know, it used to go like here and over, so now it has to go all the way up here and then all the way over to over here, because this used to be like more centered. And then that one, you know, instead of going just there, it has to go over there, so you get the idea. So I'm just gonna do that, and then after I do that, I'm gonna put the frame plates for the. Alright guys, so right now I got the front timing cover off, because I'm gonna be putting the KDP tab, whatever you want to call this piece. I mean, you could make your own, but I just bought it. And you just pretty much take, I mean, everyone says it already, but you just take that bolt out and then replace it with this, and then that's the pin right there, and then that's supposed to hold it in. So I mean, since it's off, I'm gonna put a new gasket, and then I'm just gonna make sure the timing is, everything's good, and then put it back together. Alright guys, so I ran the line already. I didn't record because I forgot my GoPro, and you know, sometimes you just don't really care about recording. But I mean, I couldn't run it the same way the original one goes. Like originally they both ran exactly the same, but you know, this one, instead of going back there, it goes forward. But the bender I got, I don't know, I couldn't really do sharp bend, so I just did it this way, back over, around, and over there to the front. And then I mean, it's just brake lines, it's nothing. But this one, I'm gonna probably drill a hole right here so I can, or like somewhere around here, so I can bolt them down, just because I mean, diesel engines tend to vibrate a lot, and then if this vibrates and it touches other stuff, it's gonna end up rubbing a hole in it. So I'm gonna still have to figure out, or I mean not figure out, but I just gotta drill a hole somewhere and bolt it to put a mount. And then this one, it's like, that one's like short enough to where it doesn't really need nothing, so I just ran it like that. So I'll probably just drill a hole somewhere right here so I can put a clamp on both of these, and then that'll be it. So right now I'm working on the oil pan. Bad lighting again. I'm working on doing the oil pan on that, so then we can throw the engine back in there. And then I also put new motor mounts on here. People usually, like, well, I don't know usually, but from what I've seen, they fill up in like with like polyurethane stuff in here. But I mean, I'm probably gonna put some in there before everything's all said and done. But I don't really see it needing it, because since I put the new ones, and then in the bottom it had this casing around it. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to do it. But anyways, I'm just gonna switch the oil pan gasket, and then I'm gonna fill those in and then put the motor on, and hopefully it won't shift positions or nothing. Alright guys, so I think I showed it in the last video, but I finished painting the frame, and then I ran my brake lines. Let me see if I can show the front side. And then this is the cross member that I welded in. Pretty much I'm pretty sure, I think I showed this already, but I took out the original one because the crank pulley was going to be pretty much sitting on it. So I took that out, and then so when I took that out, I had to relocate this brake distribution thing here. So I had to run on new brake line, so I did that. That's all done, and then I pretty much permanently, I guess you can say, I mounted the engine. And then those engine mounts that I used are from eBay. I think I said that they were like $120, I think. And then the steering linkage, we got like a couple inches of clearance there, maybe like inch and a half, not a couple, but close enough. And then we got the cross member all done and built. So that's ready to go. I think if you buy those same engine mounts that I bought or whatever, I think if you just leave your stock cross member, it'll probably be okay, because I test fitted it with my old engine, the actual engine mounts, not the brackets, but the actual mounts that were all worn out. I keep pointing this way because I'm pointing at the blue things there. Wham wham. So, but let me just show you, because sometimes people like to complain on here, but pretty much the old, this bushing part, the old ones, and the tranny right here where it's supposed to go, it wouldn't line up. So I pretty much cut all this out and did all this nonsense here to make it so it would still go into the factory slot spot. And I did all this, and then when I put it back in, with the new mounts up there, it didn't work. It was off. So I think if you I pretty much just had to recut it again and did all that again. So if you do this, pretty much if you just leave your cross member stock, I'm pretty sure it'll work. And this is the MV 4500 out of a Dodge, and then I just used the factory Chevy MV 4500 mount, and it worked. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how long that holds up. And then let me readjust my light here so you guys can see better, because like I said, YouTube people like to complain a lot. So I was test fitting the cab, because I wanted to see for the firewall and the transmission tunnel, the clearances. And it looks like the turbo is going to be hitting on the inner fender well there, and then the AC stuff gets in the way. So I'm thinking probably the easiest way to fix that is if I buy some T4 flanges, and then I move the turbo forward. Or if I buy the flanges and I have a pipe bender, so I could probably just do a short run and kind of bolt it here and then bolt it down here, and make it so the turbo kind of gets more sucked in this way, so it'll be out of the way. Or, cause I mean, I don't know, but I was thinking about maybe doing a compound setup. So maybe just running a whole different thing and moving it up here, so I can run 2 turbos in this truck and it'll be fine. But I guess you guys will have to wait and stay tuned for the next video. So, and then I think this is the frame that I shortened. It's a C20 regular cab long bed, but I shortened it down, made it a short wheelbase so I could put a regular short bed on it, because it's not like I'm gonna be using this truck for work. But I mean, anyways, just stay tuned for more updates. Thanks.